Where's my medal?
I'm a Brigadier General, Havoc. The least you can do is call me Sir.
You got it, sir.
We cracked the encryption on the intel you acquired. It details Nod troop movements in 4 sizes. Generally, unremarkable information. But this is something special. As you know, Nod has a Special Forces division of elite assassins called the Black Hand. This is a covert communique detailing 2 top-secret Black Hand operations. The first is in Guatemala. The second is in the remote agricultural area we're approaching. Details are sketchy at best. Nod forces are herding civilians into religious conditioning camps.
Torture and brainwashing.
No doubt. After processing, they're being escorted by the Black Hand to an undisclosed location. We launched an assault on the area 2 hours ago. It failed. We'll have reinforcements for our support craft in 6 hours.
They're torturing civvies. We can't wait 6 hours. Let's roll!
6 hours, Captain. Until then, you'll stand down. I won't have you risking multi-million-dollar equipment on any of your impulsive gung-ho tactics. You're part of a team, Havoc. It's time for you to start acting as such. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Crystal. Sir.
Get General Shepard on the line. We need those reinforcements yesterday. Status report.
General, we have a situation. It's Captain Parker, sir.
Havoc?
He's liberated a hovercraft, sir.
Launch our remaining support craft.
Sir?
You have your orders, Lieutenant. If he survives, I'll pin a medal on him. Then, I may have him shot.
Accessing. Accessing. Access.
Welcome back, Commando. So, yeah, the volume the first time I played around was too loud, and this time it was a little too low. I'll try to do some stuff on the back end to make it a little bit easier, especially for the cutscenes, to listen in on what everybody is saying. So first things first, if this was a cop game, we would already have our badge and gun revoked. Havoc just happens to be the sort of gung-ho character that, well, he plays by his own rules. And also has like the fastest speed from bridge to cargo hold, and also stealing a hovercraft. As mentioned before, the map is kind of garbage and shouldn't really be used.
It's Havoc! Our base is destroyed, and Nod is taking prisoners. Follow me!
As some people have been pointing out in the thread,
did you find Captain Duncan yet? I think he went down the path behind the construction yard.
This is more of the first mission, and the prior one being sort of a demo / showcase of what exactly they can do in engine. This one makes more sense as being the first actual one just because of, well, secondary objectives, showing off prisoners, a lot more action in general.
Huh?
Get him!
The AI is not always the smartest. Don't pay attention to cuts either. That's totally not to replace deaths. Although, specifically not deaths necessarily at the spots in which the saves took place.
Good timing. Nog was closing in. I've been protecting something special. It's a prototype homing beacon for GDI's new space-based ion cannon. Great for taking out large structures. Once you place the beacon, you have 10 seconds to clear the area. I gotta go see to my man. Good luck.
You see, this game was a early 2000s game, which means that there's not really much in the way of autosaves.
From a guard tower up ahead. Take him out.
Airstrike en route.
There's also a few things you can do with the geometry, but generally speaking it's limited.
Enemy forces closing, requesting backup.
Warning, enemy aircraft detected.
Havoc, that tower offers a perfect vantage point for your sniper rifle. Use it to your advantage.
And if you never want to have to deal with reinforcements, just blow up the chopper.
Havoc, C4 is inbound. Use it.
So that was a message saying that Gunboat Tango, which is just a friendly boat, is being shot at by turrets, and we should do something about it.
Warning, enemy aircraft detected.
Sadly, the audio, as we'll be seeing more and more, tends to cut out. I think there's something about the distance from a unit off the ground for it to survive. I'm not too privy on exactly how that works.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Now, the only reason we're seeing data link updated at all is just because it sort of records or reveals the nature of something the first time you kill it or interact with it. And since this is the first level, it's just appropriate. Just like how talking to that one civilian also updated the data link for him. Now, in this run, there was a bit of a glitch, in that this civilian does not want to react to anything.
Watch for Nod machine guns and tanks beyond the tunnel. There's a small pass behind the shed, too, but it's too narrow for vehicles.
My friends need a ride, AT-7. Pick them up.
This is Air Transport 7. We're evacuating your area. Stand by.
I believe it may have something to do with moving him past a trigger. I'm not quite sure why. And since I can't pull objects, that guy's now stuck in the corner. I think it's more annoying because if you rescue all three, I believe you get the bonus, but not if anybody dies.
Civilian killed.
You also get warned every time you kill any friendlies.
Alerted the Nod base. Destroy the Hand of Nod to stop further reinforcements.
So there are three types of objectives in this game. You have main objectives, secondary objectives, and what they call tertiary objectives. In the guide I have, they're listed as primary, secondary, and then bonus. Bonus will always be hidden, in the sense that there's nothing to truly indicate where you should go, what you should shoot, and what else you should do.
Detecting machine gun emplacements. You'll need explosives or heavy.
Some things might be more obvious than others, and we'll get to see what exactly those may be.
Nice work. I'm airdropping supplies. Look for them.
Throughout the missions as well, or at least the campaign, you also have the ability to pick up some upgrades. Each upgrade affecting either your health or your armor, and there's a maximum of the 2 that you can get. Or I guess more specifically, there's a maximum that will ever spawn in the campaign. So if you're playing on harder difficulties, you should definitely maximize your ability or collection of them.
It unlocks doors of the same color.
I'd also never been through here, so we get to see a very infamous unit. Not only are Viceroys real, but they can actually be created in this game. And depending on your exposure to Tiberium, then you may create even more. Now, taking out units, especially Viceroys, can be a little tricky in that there's a lot of positional damage. And thankfully I'm not in a Tiberium field, so they don't regen like crazy. But much like normal human infantry, there seems to be a better area for damage, I suppose, to be inflicted on Viceroys. The trick is finding such sweet spots on each individual unit, and kind of leads to the idea that certain units are more bullet spongy than others.
Timing, sweetheart.
Warning, enemy aircraft detected.
So we can use the microphone on the sniper rifle every once in a while, and it doesn't really come in handy. The better portion of the sniper being that you can shoot through targets. As per their data entry, officers call in reinforcements, so if you're going to prioritize anybody, it should always be them.
The Nod harvester is collecting Tiberium for the refinery. Destroy it to slow production.
The harvester doesn't ever really move, and I find that to be typical in missions.
There are civilians in a nearby church. Expect resistance.
It's certainly not the same sort of movement or actions you'd see in the regular RTS games.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My gratitude,
our
sir.
Our sister is being
Another member of our
interrogated
clergy
next
is next door.
Annoyingly as well, because every unit flinches, if you have shots on someone's head, that may not be the case for follow-up shots as they bend over forward or backwards.
We took this from our Nod captors. Maybe you can use it. Sir, call us if you need backup.
Now.
So sometimes you get data links that reveal more of the map, but again, you can't zoom in, so it's effectively worthless. It also doesn't really show defenses or where units may spawn, any sort of additional information that would be rather useful to have. As with shooters of the day, it's kind of a good idea to always be scouring the map, just to see if there's anything hidden around the corner. It's more true on a first or at your earlier playthroughs of this game at a higher difficulty, but you always want to make sure that you're not wasting ammunition. It's a little harder when you don't know exactly which weapons do best against others, and so you'll end up with a few more problems earlier on if you don't pay attention.
Situation's under control.
On your...
So you can approach friendly units and sometimes get them to follow you. Now when this guy said he was on my tail, I didn't think he meant it literally. But as long as I have someone else to shoot Nod with, then I'll take it.
Locke wants backup to hold this position, sir. End of the line for me.
You're my backup? What's the deal?
Sorry, sir.
And yeah, sometimes infantry just says, you know what, I've gone too far.
Destroy the SAM site and I'll drop in a team to escort you to the master control terminal.
I'm not sure if it's an issue with like conflicting waypoints or something, because we will get friendly reinforcements. But there's no real reason why they wouldn't be able to follow. There's also a very large emphasis on how big the maps are. I feel like I'd be looking through rose-tinted glasses if I stated that this was the style at the time, but it does just feel like these maps are fairly long comparatively to what I'm used to.
Warning. Localized radar jamming detected.
You're approaching the
Log unit
communications
destroyed.
center. It's scrambling your radar. Stay alert.
Requesting! Show yourself. What was that?
I'm not quite sure why they just wanted to ignore me for a good part of that. Buildings are also fairly confusing to navigate. The barracks was fairly easy, but the Hand of Nod is a different beast altogether. Annoyingly too, the elevators have big problems in that they don't necessarily have a button that you'd be used to press to call it. Instead, they sometimes do it automatically, other times you have to kind of jump and activate them. it's not a great system, to be honest.
Shred the dock.
Nod structure destroyed.
You'll typically need about 2 pieces of C4 to destroy buildings. Sometimes you get through okay with just 1, but I wouldn't rely on it.
Havoc, you should be near the detention center. Use the mainframe in the communication center to unlock the detention gate. Consider destroying the Nod communication center to hamper communications.
GDI clearly plans to overthrow the United States government and replace it with their own.
GDI sounds a lot like Antifa right now.
They have positioned ion cannon satellites, weapons of unforgivingly destructive power, over your national resources.
Space lasers, yeah. Well, might as well destroy the evidence. Another annoying part about being inside buildings is you always see what the building health is, which isn't helpful because there's kind of only 2 states you need to care about.
Okay, my lord.
I will find someone with more faith to handle the situation.
But sir, we...
Then report to interrogation for faith restructuring.
Yes, my lord.
Once again, some broken audio.
Accessing. Please stand by. Transmitting. Receiving. Data acquisition complete.
Good job, Havoc. There's hope for you yet. Push the button next to the gate to open the detention center.
And because it's not a master control terminal, it doesn't do anything.
Nod structure destroyed.
You don't need C4 to destroy buildings, but generally speaking, there's few weapons that actually perform well enough that validate using it.
Why do you interrupt me, GDI?
I got a present for you.
There's also the annoying bit of, after destroying a building, you have to go all the way out. So you're kind of always losing time, and there's no real easy or good way to get out of buildings.